Um, yeah, I don't know why it didn't pop up, John. I'm sorry. But we're going to talk about this video from Caruana. And this is the much discussed screenshot from said video where we can see an opening database or from Chessbase, a database filled with some um, entries, I guess you want to call it, different kind of opening analysis. So it doesn't actually show any moves, but it does show some of the stuff that Team Karana may have prepared. And it's interesting the number 17. I don't know how to highlight in this format. But number 17, it says QGD, Queen's Gambit declined, Bishop F4, Rook D1, Rook E8. And that's very interesting because that is the same line Karana played in game 2 of the championship. Although in that game 2, he played Rook D8 instead of Rook E8. But clearly, this is a variation that the team has investigated. Um, and and that means well, it doesn't really mean anything. It means that I just find it fascinating. I mean, I'm a chess geek. I'm a chess nerd. I mean, when I see something like this, I want to try to figure out what the different things are. And um, yesterday, I don't know if I want to say I got into a bit of trouble, but I started looking at this entry number 21, Petrov with knight d7 f6 idea, because it struck me as rare to move the knight to f6 via d7 in the Petrov. And so I wanted to figure out what could this be. And I think I may have actually come up with the answer. I think the line in Fabiano's opening database is this one. And this is very interesting because this line was actually played by Caruana with the white pieces against Hu Yifan. So Hu Yifan played uh, this Petrov defense, which Caruana has had huge success with this year. In April, Hu Yifan, she played this against Caruana and got a very nice position. And I suspect this is what this entry number 21 means. And so I had a headache. It was 4 a.m. In the evening, in the morning, and I was getting tired and stuff like that. And I kind of thought, well, this is a good opportunity to try out Reddit, to actually ask people in Reddit if there are any other lines they can come up with, which features this maneuver, knight to d7, knight to f6. And apparently that was a huge mistake because not everyone is as chess geeks as me. It turns out people people's reaction to this video was not really very similar to my reaction because I thought that me and everyone else um, would want to find out, well, what is this stuff? What was he planning? This is very interesting. There's frankly not that much going on the board. So I thought that people would think it's fun to discuss and kind of research the possible scenarios. And it turns out this World Championship match is way more tense than what was my feeling. Because people have responded incredibly negatively to my post, and they think that it's could be a violation of Reddit rules because I'm trying to help out one of the players during an ongoing match. Um, they have said that it's bad form to even publish the videos. They have said it's bad form trying to research what kind of the video entailed. And frankly, this makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me. We're chess players. We get an insight into one of the world's greatest chess players and his openings. And then we're supposed to just look at that, and we're not supposed to get excited about that, and we're not supposed to look into and try to figure out um, what this means. Um, so I had a bit of a culture crash and my Reddit debut, uh, and uh, and yeah, it has dawned on me that um, my feelings aren't necessarily representative of the whole chess community. And Squatchy continues the same in the same fashion. I don't know if it's a violation of rules, but it's definitely in poor taste to crowdsource for research when during an ongoing match. And I completely disagree. I think if the chess community isn't interested in figuring out kind of what this is, I feel like then we're not in it for the chess. I mean, if that is the case, then we're in it for we're kind of just grouped into two territories. Who's cheering for Caruana? Who's cheering for Carlson? To my mind, this is curiosity. And let's be honest, I don't really need input. But this was maybe also my mistake. I don't need input to make up my mind. But I thought it would be fun to kind of get other people's perspective. And I feel misinterpreted, but also I guess I have to take some blame myself. But yeah, I just I wasn't expecting this kind of response. Hammer got busted helping Magnus on Reddit. He's going to Gitmo, says Timothy. Yeah, I don't know if it's that bad, but apparently, yeah. No, I think I would like to say that curiosity is what strikes me as a key word. Because I feel like everyone responding to this negatively, I don't understand where your chess curiosity is. How are you not curious about one of the best chess players in the world and how he works on openings and what kind of opening this could have been? Yeah, I know that my Reddit post was automatically filtered. I know that the moderator of chess said that he had sent me a message. That is not true. He has not sent me a message. Um, and well, it was not the topic wasn't really widely discussed because nobody actually contributed chess related stuff. The only things that were contributed were people who said this is bad form by Hammer, trying to crowdsource information. And then there were people saying, "Oh my God, how did your post get taken down?" I don't want to. I don't think that is widely discussed. I think that's a complete derailment of my intention. You should move to the new apartment ASAP. They have your IP address. Yeah, that's funny. Perhaps an interesting question would be if the tables were turned and this leak happened to Magnus, would you still have the same opinion? Yes, that is an interesting question. And my answer to that would be yes. Because during this world championship, I am a commentator. I am a TV caster. My job is to uh, discuss interesting events. So the answer to your question is, if the tables were turned, would you still have this opinion? The answer is yes. But those of you who already think that no, Hammer is completely biased, you would never believe me when I do say yes. Hematuria, I said this once and I'm going to say it again. I understand that he said that I was sent a message, but I have not received a message. We are curious, but after the match, says Navi, after all the games have been played. Yeah, I would love to see Caruana opening up a bit about this after the match, but I find that very unlikely to happen. Crowdsourcing it is unavoidable and inevitable as long as the video is talked about in any public forums, is that Thomas. Yeah, but there's a difference between a general audience discussing it and a chess audience. So by going on Reddit, I wanted to get the chess audience to kind of get their input because a chess audience can is much better equipped to suggest Petrov lines where the knight d7 f6 maneuver occurs than a random television viewer in Norway. I think Matt Damon would play Hammer in the film adaptation. And everyone says that Matt Damon resembles Magnus. I feel like he would get the Magnus role. I'm not sure. People have been saying that Jonah Hill would do the Hammer role, and I'm not sure that's a compliment. It's awesome drama, says Chespe. Yeah, I kind of agree. Although for every hour that kind of goes, it kind of I get less excited per hour because even though I believe and let's do this again. This screen grab. I believe that the most interesting part of this is entries 21 and 22. I believe this is this line in the Petrov defense. Um, and I am like 80% sure I'm correct. But even so, even if I have discovered an unusual line of the Petrov being represented in this video by the Caruana team, what good does it do? I mean, we have no moves, we have no assessments. The only thing we know is that Caruana was interested in this idea by Hu Yifan, which she played against him with pretty good effect. As a matter of fact, Hu Yifan was winning in their game. It's from the Grenke Chess Classic, a tournament Fabiano ended up winning. So it's a really important game. And clearly Fabiano was impressed by it. If it is the same line that is mentioned in this opening file. And I was so thrilled to kind of to make the connection and kind of feel like because first I found the opening line and then I realized it had been played against Fabiano. So it also being 4 a.m. I was overly emotional and pretty excited. Uh, but the fact of the matter is, Even if I made the correct identification on the opening line, nobody cares. BJH with the 100 bits. In football or basketball or other sports, people speculate on possible strategy all the time before games. No one gets mad at ESPN. Why should this be different? It's your job as a commentator to discuss these things even before the game. Um, yeah, but the thing is that normally we just speculate. And what this video gave us is something other than speculation. Because now we can actually go and say with a high degree of certainty that this opening line had been looked at by the Caruana team. Yeah, so does Hammer have photographic memory? No. I have never met a chess player who doesn't complain that he has terrible memory. BJH with the gift sub to John Bartholomew. Thank you, BJH. I generally feel that the content of these leaks should not be actively advertised and discussed while the match is ongoing, says Squatchy. Yeah, it's to quote Pulp Fiction, it's an exercise in futility. That's just not how the world works. Uh, Scrapping hundreds of hours of work is somewhat tilting for Caruana and can affect the outcome, asks Coram. Yes, I agree. And I also think that it was interesting to see Fabiano at the press conference. For the first time in the match, he declined to give individual post game interviews to the two Norwegian channels, VG and NRK, although he had done that in the three previous ones. And he also responded no comment when asked about the video. And to me, that feels like a bit of a communications mistake because he could have just laughed it off. Because honestly, even if we identified the correct variation in the Petrov, it's very limited what Team Carlson can use it for. Um, And to me, it seems like the biggest effect this is going to actually have on the match is Fabiano, and that he could get some unnecessary annoyment at this becoming a thing when it really shouldn't have been. It's an unnecessary distraction for him. And I think that is the main impact the video has on the match. That Fabiano is getting questions about it and frankly dodging it poorly, in my opinion. When he could have, without the video being published, his focus would be better. Uh, Edward asks, do you think it's bad form or unsportsmanship-like for Magnus to look at the screenshots and try to figure out Fabi's preparation? No, I don't think it's unsportsmanship-like. But what's done is done, and a mistake was made, and c'est la vie. Life goes on. And the amount of damage the video did really is limited. But it makes for a lot of fun trying to figure out what openings are referenced. And as I said, even if you discover the opening, which I think I actually did, even then, what are you going to use that information for? It's not really clear. Well, Fabiano isn't gonna pursue any action. I mean, this video team is probably from a part of the St. Louis Chess Club promotion stuff, right? I mean, Fabiano isn't gonna pursue action against his main sponsor. And I have some experience in this thing because I have been a second to a world championship match, and we have had photographers, press visit us, gain special access previously for the 2013 match, the first one. We had a photographer shadowing us at a training camp um, for 3 whole days. And the way these guys operate is that they stay in the room for as long as they can to kind of just for the rest of us to forget about them, so that they can get realistic pictures and kind of uh, the photographer's job is basically to be invisible. Um, so um, So, I mean, we have had people very close watching us do things that are not really for public consumption. But at some point you do what you're told. If management tells you this person is coming, we're going to do some promotional stuff. They are to have complete access. Then I mean, then you give them complete access, and you trust that things work out. And I think this was an unfortunate mistake, but mistakes do happen. I believe that Magnus's team made the same mistake uh, prior to this match. There was a training camp like 3 weeks before the match, where there were some videos in which people who attended the training camp weren't slatted or kind of um, made sure that they weren't visible. And honestly, I saw that video and I didn't recognize anyone, so I didn't think more of it. But after the fact, Team Carlson has removed that video, and no one has even talked about it because no one noticed. So it's just also unfortunate timing that someone actually noticed. It was a big deal because I do believe that for this match, I cannot say it with certainty because I cannot kind of display any evidence because there is none. But I believe that Team Carlson made a similar mistake this past month and got away with it because no one noticed. Espen with the 10-month resub. The resort in Magnus's training camp looked amazing. Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's the Kragehe Resort. It's way better in summer than in winter because it's an amazing place, and they have these huge windows on all the apartments, and basically Norway in the winter is pretty dark and glum, and so having those big windows in the winter is more depressing. So Krager Resort definitely recommended, but go there in the summertime. Augustine actually admitted that they almost made the same blunder. No, yeah, but he's lying. I can say this because I have some inside knowledge, but he's lying about they almost made the same blunder. Uh, Almost is incorrect. They did make the same blunder, but no one noticed. Um, Even I didn't. I watched the video and I tried to figure out who are these people, uh, and and I couldn't figure it out. Did you comment on the some blonde statement? Asks Chess Bay. No, I didn't. I was focusing on the match and on the chess. Do you want me to say that Uh, yeah, I wasn't gonna mix it in, but if you want me to, I will mention that we have had some other unfortunate stuff going on, including uh, the uh, the benefactor Rex Sinkfield calling into the St. Louis broadcast and referring to Anna Rudolph as some blonde, which is it's so unnecessary. And Maurice Ashley is going to be on the Daily Show today, which is so cool. So they're making some really nice stuff happening in St. Louis. But trash talking your opponents really isn't something you should do. And it would have been so easy to get it out of the way because you make mistakes. Mistakes do happen. On the broadcast yesterday, I referred to the girl making the first move. I was a bit surprised to see her there. I know her very well, and I referred to her as the wife of Jan Gustafsson. Because Jan Gustafsson was a part of Magnus's team last year, and it has been speculated whether he's a part of the team this year. So when I saw her there making the first move in the World Championship match for Magnus, my head went, "Oh, it's Jan Gustafsson's wife." And then I was put in my place, being told that you shouldn't refer to people like that. She is the author of a very nice children's book on chess, and she has represented Norway on the national team, and I got some backlash from that, which is how it should be. But you make mistakes, is my point, and Rex could have corrected this so easily because Anna had a birthday the next day, so he could have just here's a birthday present. I'm very sorry about what I said. Uh, Happy birthday, and it's out of the world. So yeah, we need to be better at apologizing because mistakes will always be made, but we need to deal with how we make our mistakes. Jimmy Ray says that Rex apologized, explained he had a brain fart, and wished her a happy birthday on the next stream. Yeah, I guess that's okay. He should have done it in person, in my opinion, because he doesn't need to apologize to the public. He needs to apologize to Anna. 100 bits from BJH. Yeah, I agree. Rex didn't really have good intentions. But I think he still could have gotten away with it with a nice, quick apology. Calling someone some blonde is, yeah, it's not okay. It's a hashke technique, as we call it in Norway. I don't know how that translates. Can someone please tell me how to play blindfold on chess.com? Asks Clear. Yes! As a matter of fact, we're going to play some blindfold right now. We're going to get back into the chess action. For those of you joining late, I just want to say that I started this blindfold session with the most amazing checkmate. You guys are missing out. As a matter of fact, I'm going to post the link to my YouTube channel. It's going to be a while until that checkmate makes it to the YouTube. Uh, but um, but but yeah, you may want to follow that because there's a very cool blindfolded checkmate coming up there in the next month.